What's going on, y'all? So listen. Oh, what's going on? Listen, y'all. Girl, look at my clothes, okay? Girl, just wrinkled and everything. I really didn't give a care. I was tired today. Girl, anyway, Real Housewives of Atlanta, we back. Y'all gonna take me as I am, okay? I've been at home all day. This is loungewear. But anyway, Real Housewives of Atlanta. We are back again finally for a new episode. This is season 13, episode 4. From one surprise to another. So we just basically start the episode off going through the individual girls and getting a quick little blurb about what's going on with each one. We got Shamia and her baby kicking it with Portia and her baby, which is really cute. And Shamia asking questions about Portia, girl, you was up in jail. What happened? What food did they give you and all that stuff? And Portia telling them mystery meat and shit like that. Then you got Drew Sidora and her husband with their daughter. I hope it's a daughter. Either way, their child is cute. They were cute, really funny. Then we get Riley, Don Juan, and Candy. Basically, Don Juan telling Riley, listen, you about to go to college. Ain't nobody finna be up on your ass telling you what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? With your academics or whatever. Calling your mama, telling you this and telling you that. Riley shading Candy like she ain't really no academic herself and all that shit, which I thought was funny. I said Riley steady shading her mama all the time. But then we get into Cynthia, Mallory, and Kenya. Okay. Um they go to this yoga spot, and it was irritating me because why do y'all wear the face shields and don't wear masks with it? Y'all do know that the particles can come from underneath, that it can go up into the face shield and still get into your nose. It can go like that and still get into your nose, okay? To your respiratory system and come, you know what I'm saying? You're still vulnerable. The face shield is the extra level of protection with the mask, okay? So if you're gonna wear the face shield, please wear masks as well, all right? That's not saying that you don't have to. Please wear a mask. I'm just saying, if y'all want to be safe, all right? But some of y'all probably be like, I already be doing that, and ain't nothing happened to me. Ain't nothing happened to you yet, okay? But anyway, moving on from there. Why would you want to take risks? But anyway, get off my high horse. It just bothered me. They up in there talking, doing the little yoga and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. Say what you want about Kenya, bitch. Kenya would have been me. And Kenya older than me. Kenya is years and decades older than me. No shade, but she is. And Mama said, oh my God, my hip is cracking. It's creaking. It's popping. I said, bitch, that would have been me. Now, see, Kenya shit doing that because it's probably old age and she probably ain't been moving around, bitch. My hip doing that probably because I'm fat. I don't know, like, girl, it just, I was like, girl, I felt you on a spiritual level right there. She said, let me get the fuck up. And my head is itching, so I'm trying not to scratch it. So, anyway, that's what was going on with them. And they get into talking about this whole wedding situation again, and I'm just sitting here like, I forgot that Cynthia whole thing is about her wedding. Her wedding, that's basically her storyline. This wedding that we already done played out in social media. We already know that you done had, so at this point it's a little boring. Cynthia ain't got shit else to talk about at this point. Talking about going to the venue, talking about the little issue that they ran into with Mike. How he feels about it and how he feels, how she basically, what she said in the argument between them two is, the way that he's interpreting. And I was glad that King was there. And I understand people like Mike, just give Cynthia her day, just give her her day. But Mike is coming from a point of view like, it could be whatever and I'll still marry you no matter what the conditions. It don't necessarily have to be this date, this particular venue or whatever. And King was even saying, he probably thinking that you just doing this because you want the show and the spectacle when, you want the cameras around and all that stuff. And then Cynthia had to clear that shit up and say, no, that's not it. I ain't getting married for no show. I didn't get divorced for no show or nothing like that. But you have to see where he's coming from. He just wants to marry the girl, regardless of if it's 10, 10, 20, if it's 9, 15, if it's 12, 24. He just want to marry the girl, okay? That's all that it is. And them two get into a little heated discussion or whatever because they're trying to get their point across. And, the instructor come out there and sage the place. And that was basically it. I was like, okay. So then we get into Candy and Kenya meeting up at a restaurant. I hope this is feels like it's a little crooked, but we'll deal with it. Meeting up in a restaurant, just to catch up on some things and all that. And we get into the little conversation about how Kenya felt like she, did some wrongs to certain people, last year or whatever, and she want to correct that. And one of those people that she felt like she did wrong was Cynthia, after she got through telling her about their little conversation and their little spat back and forth, if you want to call it that, their little heated discussion that they got into back and forth at the yoga spot about the marriage and, the wedding and, how Mike just wants to marry her regardless of where it's at and how she feels about doing it during this pandemic and stuff like that, and how Cynthia, she got married last time. Kitty was like, the last time she got married, she was broke. So now that she got a little coin, she just want to go all out. And I understand that, but you also have to do it in the reality of the times, okay? And the time is we have a pandemic and you need to be safe with everything. But then, Kenya wants to also to make up for almost spoiling her engagement party, surprise engagement or whatever to Mike, wanted to, throw her a surprise engagement party. But she wants Candy to host it. She's already looking into the venue, getting the stuff done. And it was, they showed some footage or whatever that happened 3 days ago. And she wants Candy to host it so that people can actually show up. All right, because like she said, she didn't wrong some people. Okay, and that's how it's being interpreted up in Candy's ear. Like basically, you feel like people not gonna show up if they know that it's from you. Okay. She was like, who wouldn't show up? But then they started listening to some people, Marlo. Kenya said anybody that's cool with Cynthia can show up, okay? So if Marlo cool with Cynthia, she can show up. Then she mentioned Portia. Of course, this was a leeway for her to go ahead and say what she had to say about Portia. Oh, Portia got arrested again. I was sitting here like, talking about how she's out there protesting with no mask on and putting people at risk and all this stuff and woo woo woo. And here's my thing about this whole thing. Whether she had a mask on, whether she had a shield on, whether she was out there and she's getting arrested, or you feel like she's putting herself in a predicament to get arrested and all that stuff or whatever, the fact of the matter is Portia was out there on the front lines. Portia was out there doing something. Whether it was for show or not, Portia was out there doing something, okay? Portia risked going to jail and she has a child of her own and she put her own life on the line. Portia was out there doing something. And this ain't even coming from somebody that's, a true fan of Portia or whatever, because I can give two shits less. But the bitch was visible and she was out there doing something. Kenya, what the fuck were you doing? Besides, you probably posted a couple of shit on your Instagram or whatever, but did you physically go to a march? Did you physically go to a protest? Okay, exactly. So we're gonna move past that. All right. Meanwhile, we get Drew and her husband. Mama gotta go, and I'm talking about Drew's mama. Okay. Drew gives me the tease because I guess they were sitting up in there talking about the fact that this counselor finna come over there and they finna have this little therapy session and all this stuff, and the mama telling them what they need to do and all this shit or whatever. I know we in the age of COVID or whatever. I feel as though she could have been more safer if she would have hopped her ass back on the plane to Chicago and went on home, okay? Drew gives me the feeling that she tells her mother everything that goes on in her relationship with Ralph, okay? And you already got issues going on with Ralph, you don't need your mama involved or whatever and giving her opinions, which is going to make it worse when you got a person like him, okay? And that's with anybody. Like, you shouldn't just bring everybody into your relationship, because now they're going to be giving unwarranted, unsolicited, maybe solicited opinions and all this stuff, and then think that they got it in your relationship and they can give opinions about whatever it is they you're going through whenever they want to, when it's none of their business, because you invited that, okay? And I wouldn't be able to deal with no shit like that. Then the therapist or whoever, the counselor, comes over, they go outside with these goddamn face shields. I said, Miss Therapist Lady, why do you have your shield all the way up like this? Girl, pull that shit down. Now, see, that irked me, but whatever. Anyway, so they do that, and they getting into three things that they want, and Drew said something about being emotionally available or showing emotions or whatever to her son, wanting Ralph to be there and to show that it's okay to have emotions and to truly love and nurture her older son. That he came into the picture at 3 years old, when the boy was 3 years old, and wants him to fully love the boy the way that he loves his biological kids, which is understandable, and I get that. Don't want to treat him no different from the other kids. Don't want him to feel any different. He's already a sensitive child. Make sure that that love is on point. Then talking about transparency, like where you're going, just the basic shit that you would think people would know to do in relationships. Tell me where you're going, give me love, show me emotion, show me this, and be transparent. Communication and shit like that. Bitch, when they asked Ralph what he wanted, he said, I just want respect and sex. The whole time, what got me is Ralph was sitting there, the counselor is talking, Drew is talking, he is sitting there smiling like this, like he just chuckling to himself, and I'm sitting here like, that man don't give a damn about what y'all are saying at this point. Drew said they already tried counselors and shit went awry because of him and all that stuff, and it's just like he don't care, and he is clearly showing how much he don't care with that chuckling and shit like that, or he's just uncomfortable and this is not what he really wants to do. And so at this point, he started saying about the respect issue, that he doesn't want to like, sometimes he feels like Drew looks at him like her father, and don't want Drew to treat him the way that her mother treated her father, emasculating him. And Drew of course took offense to it, but am I the only one that looked at Drew mama and could just got that energy that she probably did and does emasculate motherfuckers? Okay, she just gives out that energy. I ain't trying to take up for Ralph, but maybe he got a point on that. But then again, Ralph, you do some dumb shit. Okay, you do some dumb shit that I probably would have come out the bag on your ass for, okay, that you don't even have to do. And then talk about some sex, with the sex thing, at least have it 3 times a week. I think that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable. If you just having it 3 times a week, I mean, that's kind of low. But I mean, y'all got 3 kids, so you got to get it in when you can get it in. But, all of that stuff. And when they was talking about the dad and, Drew trying to say she ain't never seen her mommy emasculate him and stuff like that, he passive-aggressively put his hands on her shoulder, trying to tap her shoulder, trying to make it seem like he actually trying to be there for her. And she even caught it and was like, what's that about? Okay, like, no. He was like, you look like you was about to cry. I said, this man is not here for this whole thing. Y'all are just wasting your time at this point. So as we get further into the counseling session, we see, he starts to lighten up a little bit and take it just a little bit more serious, but I still don't believe it, okay? I'm just like Drew, the nigga, he done probably said sorry so many times she can't tell if he's sincere or not. But we get into his background and, how he grew up in a single family home. I guess the parents were together at one point. They, went their separate ways, and he stayed with the mom, and it was his turn he had to be the man of the house, and yet, he wanted that affection and an attention and acknowledgement from his mother, but, she wouldn't give it to him. And because of that, when he was a senior in high school, whatever, he said, you don't respect me like that, so I'm going to go live with my dad. And that's exactly what he did. And once that happened, the mom wound up losing the place where they were staying at, got evicted. And that's when she finally said sorry and showed some type of real affection to him and acknowledged him in a way that he wanted her to. And he got mama issues, okay? Just like everybody be having daddy issues. Women had daddy issues, and most of us got daddy issues, and he got mama issues. It's the same old story. But, the way that the counselor made that correlation, talking about some, so when he don't get what he need, or what he feel he's lacking, or what he supposed to get, what doesn't happen, he leaves. Just like when he didn't get that sorry from his mama, in order to get that sorry from his mama, he did what? He left. I said, I mean, I get it, but still, leaving to go to Tampa for 3 goddamn days. I never get over that, okay? No, we're not gonna let you off the hook. So at this point, he apologizes and he wants to, make her feel safe and be the protector and stuff like that. And Drew was just telling the counselor, because the counselor was like, "This is day one." She was like, "No, this is not day one. This is not the first counselor that we done went through." And she said, "You can't look through the past to get through your forward, okay? So let's just take this day by day. Let's just start anew, just start fresh right here, right now." And that's when Drew said that she can't take for sure, for certain, that what he is saying is sincere when he hugs her and try to apologize to her and says the things that he wants to say to make her feel good in that moment, because she was crying and she was emotional, whatever, so girl, they got marriage problems like everybody else. Then we get this scene with Lauren calling Cynthia, trying to invite her. They finna throw a protest party for Porsche. This what we doing? This what we doing? I mean, okay, cool, whatever. To celebrate the fact that she out here protesting and doing all that stuff, fine. You need a little lightheartedness, so go ahead, in the midst of all this seriousness, go ahead and do what you gotta do. And I never heard nothing like this, but okay, that's fine. She invites Cynthia. Cynthia asking, "Can Kenya come?" And Lauren was like, "Listen, to be told," because at first Lauren said the people that we fuck with, all right? Portia and Kenya don't fuck with each other at this point in time. But at this time, Lauren bend and she said, as long as everything gonna be cool, you can bring her, whatever. Cynthia do call Kenya, telling her that she's invited. And Kenya had the same goddamn reaction. And I did feel some type of way because it was Kenya that said it, because of the history between Kenya and Portia. But I did get where she was coming from. Like, we throwing parties just because you was out there protesting. I mean, this shit is like, okay, this is what we come up with for a storyline. Moving on from that, Lauren also calls Candy, who is sitting down with Latoya and Marlo, and invites her, and invites Marlo, invites Latoya as well. Told them to dress up in all black. Mind you, Kenya and Candy was talking about the little interaction between Candy and, yeah, they was talking about the little interaction between Latoya and Kenya, how they got a little lesbian stuff going on, little bisexual teas going on between them. Candy said, "Do I need to get y'all some bedroom candy?" Truth be told, I will watch that shit. I can't, them two not particularly my favorite people, but bitch, I would sit down and watch it just like this. No, can you move your leg this way? Okay, now look. I'll direct that shit, bitch. Let me stop. Let me stop. So they want everybody to wear black, and that's what's gonna go on. They're gonna have this little party at the house, and it's gonna be social distance and everything. So then, unfortunately, we find out that Ralph's parents, his father passed away. He had a heart attack. They was getting ready to go down to North Carolina because he had a heart attack, and unfortunately, he didn't make it. And we find out how close Ralph became to his father, and he was saying how his father was such a big Giants fan, and they never really got to do all that stuff together, and this was going to be the time, now that he's an adult, to be able to just go all out in life with his father. And so he never got a chance to do it the way that he wanted to do it. And it's just giving him a new perspective on life, and how he just really needs to be there for his family, and be there for everybody, and do right by his wife and stuff like that. Okay, but condolences to his father. And they look just like, okay, look just alike, twins. But moving on from that, we get Tanya going to pick up Portia. Okay, they meet up with Marlo, at this little vegan place or whatever. And Marlo, see, let me tell you something. I wish Marlo did have a peach, okay? Marlo, sometimes I can take her, sometimes I can't. But I do actually like Marlo. She's funny to me. And I wish she did have a peach. And I did like that little blurb alone. I like that part of Marlo when she was talking about her nephews and, being in virtual learning and, not turning in the assignments and, becoming the parent and putting that authority down, saying, he better get that stuff done now, okay? Tell him that I said get that stuff done now, all right? I like to see that. That's what I would like to see more about Marlo and how she's doing raising her nephews and how that's coming along. And she loves them boys. She loves them boys, and she seems like she is doing a good job too. So they also get into talking about Portia and Dennis being not together anymore, and him buying her co-parenting gifts and Chanel purses every other day and all this stuff. And girl, at this point, what's the point of being together? I mean, you getting what you need. You turned into Marlo, okay? You getting what you need without actually putting a ring on the shit, bitch. I mean, at this point, like they said, we just gonna sit back and give it 90 days. Within the 90 days, you gonna be back together with him, because that's all y'all do. Y'all on and off, on and off, on and off. And at that point, they are absolutely fucking correct. They're not together now, but I would not be surprised if down the line, maybe in March, they'll be together. Okay? And so we get to Kenya. Man, I felt bad for Kenya because, I don't invite me somewhere and then uninvite me because you feeling a type of way. You should have just went with your first mind, Lauren. That's what you should have did. You should have went with your first mind, and your first mind, you did not want Kenya to be there because of the history between her and Portia. That started back up. Y'all, she shouldn't have been there. She shouldn't have been a thought or whatever. Regardless of if it was Cynthia on the phone, just because Cynthia asked, you should have already just said, no, she can't come. Okay, and you should have kept and put your foot down on that one. And we would have avoided this. Since Kenya getting all excited, and I actually like seeing her that way. Like, she was excited to actually be there. And she was talking about the Pilar's little birthday, Portia's daughter, and how she did get a gift for her, a little Rosa Parks doll, Barbie doll, and she wanted to give it to her, like as a peace offering. As she wasn't trying to come there to start some trouble or whatever because of the cause, regardless of how she felt about the fact that we're throwing a protest party because this girl was out there protesting. But she didn't want, the message is that we out here protesting and doing all this stuff because we're trying to, bring awareness and stuff to Black lives and that's getting unjustly killed, and the racism that's there. She's not trying to muddle the message, okay, and start some mess. At least that's what it was coming from her intentions. That's what she was trying to put out there, that her intentions was not to start no mess because she understood what the cause was for, and she was really excited to give the baby the doll. And then Cynthia had to tell her, well, I got a text from Lauren that said basically she don't feel comfortable with your ass coming, and she don't want no stuff to pop off between you and Portia. So therefore, you're not gonna be able to come. And of course, Kenya was pissed off. She said somebody gonna, cause production didn't know, and she said somebody gonna have to pay for this makeup and outfit. I said, I know that's right. Bitch, you got me. I'm finna waste this outfit and this good hair and this goddamn this good hair, meaning, this good style or whatever that I already put together. I done pressed it out. It's all nice looking and everything. And I done put my makeup on and all that stuff. And I gotta sit in the house and do nothing. Okay? No, we ain't finna have that. So I understood Kenya's frustration. But like I said, Lauren, you should have just went on ahead and said no in the beginning. So Kenya is pissed off, and she gets on the phone and she calls Candy and tells Candy, when you go to the party, let the girls know about the surprise engagement that she's throwing. And she also let her know that, she's not invited. Lauren rescinded the invitation, and her true colors came out. How she really feel. Now, I didn't say all that shit like I would be upset. I didn't think that Kenya was going to go there and start some mess or whatever. But maybe it is a good thing that Kenya didn't go, because Kenya didn't feel the same way that she felt about, that everybody else felt about Portia, because you feel like that she's doing this for a photo opportunity. It's very self-serving. It's media attention driven. Why is it that she's always getting arrested on camera, whatever? It's a whole bunch of people that was getting arrested because they was on camera. And do you understand that because Portia is somebody that is somewhat of a pseudo-ass relation, celebrity, because of this reality world, people know her, so of course they're gonna pull out their cameras and film her or whatever. And I'm sitting here like, so if you feel that way about Portia getting arrested on camera, Do you feel that way about Yandy getting arrested on camera? Do you feel that way about Tamika getting arrested on camera, the one who organizes these marches and stuff like that? Like, it feels like you're just saying this stuff because it's Portia and because of the history that you're coming from. And you can't give the girl any type of credit because of the history that y'all have together, which is understandable. But like sometimes we gotta put shit aside and see things for what it is. You're just doing that because you're pissed off and because you don't fuck with Portia. That's all that it is. So any and everything that she do is gonna always look self-serving. But I will agree. So we really gonna do a party for some protesting. Okay. So we move on from that, Cynthia, I guess you gonna give Cynthia the doll or whatever to give to Portia. And at the same time, why are you pissed off at Portia and doing all this stuff at Portia and spewing all this when Portia is not the one throwing the party? It's her sister that threw the party. It's her sister that gave you the invitation just by chance, okay? Because Cynthia opened up her mouth about it, and she the one that took it away from you. Portia ain't had nothing to do with it, okay? So we get past all of that, and the girls meet up at Portia Place and or whoever it was, and they getting ready, and they got all these girl, whatever. It was decked out, and I was sitting here looking at it like, okay. Meanwhile, all the girls are there. You got Latoya, you got Fallon, you got Candy, you got Marlo and Cynthia and everybody that's just, and Tanya was gonna bring Portia. And so Fallon was sitting there, they was talking about something, and then she was like, sure, if that happened, maybe I wouldn't have all these kids. And then Latoya was like, they was like, how many kids you got? She said altogether it's 8. She got 3 with Simon, and Simon already had 5 of his own. And she was like, how old is your husband? He's 56 or something like that. He's an older man. And it was like, okay, I knew it. This is Latoya. I knew you look like the type that date older man, okay? And you the type that date an older man with money. And the way that she said it, it was just like, ew. And even Candy was like, she's Kenya on steroids. Like, she the type of person that'll just say what comes to her mind without thinking about it. And I don't know if she thinks that shit is cute. It's not fucking cute, bitch. You say that to the wrong person, you gonna be just like a Monique and Candy situation. You gonna get that ass pop in that mouth. Everybody ain't gonna let that shit slide. You gonna say the wrong shit to the wrong person, and they gonna either give you a good cussing out that's gonna hurt you deep to your soul, or they gonna pop you in your motherfucking mouth. Because Latoya just doing some too much. And I don't care if y'all say, oh, she was just being funny or whatever. That shit is irritating. Don't tell nobody, oh, you look like that you date older men. Because it's the way that she kind of said it implies that the girl was just a gold digger. She was like older men with a lot of money. And then when she was talking about her ex-husband, she was like, he was an older man too. She was like, no. And I was like, see, why are you assuming shit? But then anyway, moving on from that, Portia pulls up. Of course, she starts crying and all that stuff. And I'm just sitting here like this. Okay. And the episode ends with, Pilar coming out there to get her little gift. And, Portia didn't seem to mind about the gift from Kenya. But, she said at this point, hun, Kenya, I just like blah. Okay, we already get that. She didn't throw no shots or anything to her. What else wound up happening? So Candy went on ahead and told them it's an event that's happening on the weekend or something like that. Just wear white. That's all she gave them. And then Portia got up there and gave a speech. That was the episode. Y'all, I'm trying. I'm loyal to the franchise. That's why I'm on here. But baby, they got to give me a little bit something else, okay? They tried to tonight, but I'm just saying. Y'all tell me how y'all feel, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.